and I've been working all my life. And then all I hear young people saying is, what's in it for me? Well, get out of bed for a start.
And that does seem to be a common problem with young people, in the opinion of many that have called tonight. Next we've got John from Maronia.
Yeah, g'day, Mike. Great show. Listen, long-time listener, first-time caller, but I reckon you're taking it too easy on these young lot.
Not a fan of the snowflake generation, John.
The hopeless generation, you mean? God, they can't employ anyone under the age of 30 because they can't talk to people. All they're interested in doing is looking at their Facebook while they're at work. It's a joke, mate.
Hey Laura, how's the hike going? Guys keeping up with you alright? No, not again. When'd you last see him? Okay, well, how about you guys backtrack and see if you bump into him on the way? Yeah, he's probably heading back here like last time. Yeah, I know. Next time, no one under 15. I agree, but look, we'll talk about it later, alright? Just backtrack, and if you haven't found him by the time you get here, then they'll call the authorities and get a search party together, alright? Alright, keep your walkie-talkie handy in case of any updates. Shit! Hayden! 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 He wasn't near the dam? No, not yet. He'll still be making his way back here. Yeah, just bring him back. Yeah, bring him back now and make sure they stick together. Shit. Hayden! Ow! God! Nearly gave me a heart attack.
Leave me alone.
Hayden, you can't just walk off from the group like that. We talked about this. Hayden, I'm very glad you're back. You're a very valued member of this group.
Incorrect. They all hate me.
Okay, well, how about you staying there for a bit, alright? Just chill out. Take your time. There's no rush. God. Laura, I found him. Yeah, he's back here. Listen, don't bring the others back right away, alright? He's pretty upset and he needs some time. Yeah, alright. I'll see you then. Hayden? Mate?
I would rather not interact at the moment.
Listen, the others aren't here, so how about you come out and have a chat?
Conversation will not help the matter.
And that's fair enough, but I still need someone to help me tighten the ropes on these tents, and I'd rather do it with you, because you understand the mathematics behind it, yeah?
Well, maintaining correct tension between the gyros is essential in case of high winds.
I'm glad you're here. I'm not too good with this.
They shouldn't be camp leader, it's a matter of safety.
Well, walking off alone from a group hike isn't exactly safe practice either, Hayden.
Not when they constantly insult me. No, Alex, the head of the clip needs to face downwards, otherwise it won't lock off properly.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. You're very good at this.
I read up on it before I came.
You know, it's great that you read so much. A lot of young people don't.
Reading promotes individual freedom. If you can't read, then you're limited to the ideas of those around you, and that can be very limiting indeed.
Listen, Hayden, I know it must be tough when you're in a group where you feel everyone's not quite as intelligent as you.
Not quite, they're stupid.
Well, what I was about to say is that sometimes your reaction to that situation might come across as rude.
So now it's my fault to call me a dog when I would be in anything?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're in a group where everyone's a bit older.
Head dumber.
And maybe they have different types of intelligence. They've had different experiences than you.
So now you're on their side.
I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just saying that it's important to appreciate what other people have to offer.
I just want to go home. No one should have to put up with this.
Hayden, this is not the last time you'll encounter a difficult situation.
No one else gets picked on all the time.
I used to get picked on a lot.
Well, you did not. You just tried to use psychology to build a rapport with me.
Incorrect. I really wanted to get my first job. I wanted to have my own money so I wouldn't have to rely on my parents for anything.
What's this got to do with me?
Nothing. It's got to do with me. I'm sharing my experience with you. At such a time, it's polite to listen to, I don't know.
Build rapport?
Correct.
What happened next then?
Wow. I'm so excited to get a job that I left my resume at home. I had to go all the way back and get it. By the time I did get to the store, I was so eager that I walked up to the most important looking person there, handed them my resume and said, "I'd like to apply for the open position, please." They looked at me blankly for a couple of seconds and told me they'd call up the manager. So they walked off and I was left just staring at my empty hands. Well, when the actual manager showed up, she already was looking over my resume and she seemed really nice.
Did you get the job?
2 days later, I got the call saying I'd gotten the job. I was so excited. The first thing I did was tell all of my friends and family. My first shift was at 7 a.m. on Saturday. But now the big day was there, I was starting to get really nervous. Couldn't sleep that night. I woke up at 5 a.m. I got to the store at 6:15. But even though it was the middle of winter and freezing cold, I was sort of glad I'd gotten there so early. So it gave me time to calm down and relax before my shift started.
Sometimes if I'm feeling anxious, it's because I haven't eaten enough food.
Yeah, well, in my case, I just breathed deeply to calm myself down. But turns out I was right to feel nervous. When the manager showed up and let me in, no one else had come in to work. I asked her how many people were working the morning shift and she told me it was just the two of us. My first shift, and there was only 2 of us working. Who was going to show me how the register worked? Who was going to help the customers? I didn't know the layout of the store. When I voiced my concerns, she just said, "That's okay. Saturdays are usually really quiet, and I'd have a chance to learn everything." But this Saturday was not quiet.
I still don't understand what this
Rapport
is.
building, Caden. Taking the time to listen to someone else's story shows them that you care.
But
Show me you care, Caden.
I'm listening.
Wow. As soon as the doors opened, people started arriving. You know, it started off slow, 1, 2, maybe 3 at a time. But soon the store was full of customers bustling around trying to get what they wanted. And very quickly, a line started to form in front of me. Now, I'd never used a register before. I'd never even seen one from this side of the counter before. So I had to call the manager up for help. The nice, kind woman I'd spoken to only half an hour earlier was gone. "It's so simple, Alex. Anyone can do it. Just enter on the yellow button, so total with the orange, enter the amount, and total with the green. It's so simple." As she left, she went out the back and left me there by myself. I apologized to the customers for making them wait and slowly started to get through the line. But it wasn't long before I had to call for assistance again. And again, and again, and again, and again. And every time I called her up, she got more and more frustrated with me. The customers were pretty understanding, but I could tell that they were starting to get sick of it too. But it wasn't until the end of my shift that I had my first really upset customer.
Sounds like a long shift.
He wanted to buy some gift cards, but I didn't know how to set them up. I told him it was my first day and that I needed to call someone up to help me. And he starts freaking out. He starts yelling at me. He threw his gift cards on the floor. I tried to keep him calm, but I was so anxious and worked up about everything that I just froze. I didn't have a chance to call anyone up for help, so this time no one's going to save me.
Cash registers are pretty simple.
Hayden,
Just like a calculator.
I think you're missing the point.
I think it's taking a long time to get to the point.
Well, just then, one of my new co-workers walked through the front door, about to start her shift. She came over, calmed the customer down, he took his gift cards and left. Now, she could see that I was really upset, and I only had about 5 minutes left of my shift, so she told me to just go out the back and get my things, and that she'd take care of everything for me. I was so relieved. I practically ran to the staff room. The manager was in there, and she asked why I wasn't out the front. I told her what had happened, and all she said was, "Okay." And then she asked how my shift was. Now, I didn't want to lose my job after just one day, so I told her that it had been good, and that I was excited to keep working with her. And all of a sudden, she's back to the nice, friendly persona that she'd first greeted me with, and she told me she'd see me the next day. So I grabbed my backpack, clocked out, walked home, and cried.
Why?
Because it felt like no one liked me or cared about me.
Just quit. Find somewhere nicer to work.
I didn't want to ever go back, but I was so desperate to be independent. I mean, she was a hopeless manager, but I worked there for 6 months.
I still don't understand the point you're trying to make. Are you saying that I should get a job that I don't like and work with mean people?
No, I'm saying that I got through that 6 months, and I know that you can get through this tough time with people who you feel don't like you. Just focus on building your skills, and you'll have more tools to deal with tomorrow's challenges. Life doesn't get any easier, but we do get better at dealing with it. Hayden?
Here, dorky, dorky, dorky.
Aaron, please. You wouldn't like it.
Yes, I would. I'd love to be a dork.
See?
That's enough, thanks. Hayden, we'll talk about this later, alright?
Okay, cooking crew, we've got an early start. Tonight it's Shania and Andre.
Can we smash Dabo tonight?
Only baked beans, bread and jerky left.
Beans, good for half, beans, make it 5.
More fight for better feels, so baked beans for every meal.
Why about Macca's?
You know they use worms in their burgers.
Roger that, Roger.
Oh, shut up!
Why would they use worms when it's more expensive than beef?
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Not everything's a conspiracy, you idiot.
Mum said not to call me an idiot.
You two. Alright, folks, if you're not on cooking crew, then you're on campfire duty with me. Let's go.
The talky boy might get splinters.
I'm not going.
Aaron, that's enough. Hayden, maybe you could stay here and get an early start setting up your telescope.
He's not going to see much in the daytime.
The southern hemisphere actually has the 3 brightest stars in the night sky: Sirius, Canopus, and Alpha Centauri.
True.
And you can see them in the daytime if you know where to look.
And you know where to look, don't you, Hayden?
I've got the coordinates, Alex.
Great. We'll leave you to it. Alright, campfire crew, stick close, please.
See, only baked beans, bread, and jerky left. Well, flour at least.
I like doing the bread. Feels mushy.
Makes you appreciate some things in life being out here. Birds, clean air, flour and salt,
Mushy.
and now the butter.
Crumbly, crumbly.
Salt helps tighten the gluten structure and adds strength to the dough.
Thanks, Hayden, didn't know that. That's lovely work, Andre. Very well done. You know, telling stories around the campfire, it happens to be my favourite part of the night. I haven't really got any stories. I'm sure you have.
I can tell you how in love I am.
I'm very happy for you, Andre.
It's life-changing.
You know what? They're the best stories, the ones that change your life. There are some moments in life, some events that change your life forever and there's no going back. Sounds scary. Can be, but those are the stories that make us us.
Ooh, and the water and milk makes it mushy, mushy.
You know, my grandma loved to tell stories. She used to make me laugh. She didn't mean to, but she spoke mostly Italian and I never got the chance to learn it. So our conversations ended up being like a game of charades that would drive her nuts. You should have seen her when she was mad. My dad would deliberately piss her off until she started cursing in Italian, ready to smack him one. Apparently that's what my dad and his brothers were like for her. Imagine having to raise 3 boys who was nothing but mischief. What a tough life. Anyway, when she could speak English a bit better, she used to tell me stories of a past life. She never had many photos, but I could just imagine her as a young woman, roaming the streets of Messina, Sicily, living with her parents and 7 siblings. Imagine that. She told me the time her father fell down the ladder. What she did for a living as well, such as cooking and cleaning, how she got to meet my grandpa, how they eloped, had 3 mischievous sons, and then migrated to Australia. When Grandpa was alive, he used to take me to the park that was just across the road. I remember him taking me down to the park and pushing me on the swing, urging him to push me higher and higher and so high that my nose could reach the sky. Grandma would watch from the front window. I saw her do it all the time. She had nothing to worry about. We were safe. After Grandpa passed away, it was tough to be on her own, but she kept to her usual routine and was a very determined woman. Believe me, you wouldn't dare mention taking her to a nursing home. I miss those moments before she became very ill. And then one day, the phone rang. I remember the phone ringing for a few seconds, until Mum picked it up and answered it with the usual hello. But then I heard the change in her voice and the sadness on her face. When I saw that, I knew in that moment that she was gone. My grandmother. Tears just poured down my face, and Mum just held me as we both cried on the couch. I knew that Nonna was sick and that there was nothing that could be done about it. I knew that my visit to the hospital that night would be my last moment with her.
That's sad.
That's really sad.
It was. But I knew for a fact that she was a strong and independent woman. And I cherished her for that. You know, I went back to that playground and I sat on that same swing. But now it felt empty. Like there was nothing left. Like all joy and happiness just suddenly faded. The more I thought about it, the more sad it made me. So instead, I thought of the good things. I was proud. Proud that my grandma was satisfied with the life she had and would never ask for more. So I wanted to make her proud this time by telling the story of the woman I grew up to know in front of a whole crowd of people without even shedding one tear. It can be hard to face reality. We know that life doesn't forever go on and it eventually ends. I guess that's what scares a lot of people when they grow up. People rush out to live out their lives because they know eventually it's all going to end. It's okay to be scared, but it's best to live and enjoy the life you're given, because that is what makes life worth living for and worth taking every single small step.
I love that story. It's so grounding, so real.
You could be a life coach.
We all could. I bet there's some amazing stories within this group.
Yeah. Let's get this fire started. The sun's only gone.
Half of this is wet.
After last night's rain, it's a wonder any of it's dry.
Can't light a fire with wet wood, genius.
It's not my fault.
It's not anyone's fault. It's just a problem that we have to solve together.
It's useless is what it is. But shoot the dry stuff first.
Yeah, just use the dry stuff first.
We're wasting your time, idiots.
We'll all be cold, hungry idiots if we don't work together to fix the problem.
I've got my love to keep me warm.
Brilliant.
It's getting a bit cold now. I'm going to get my jacket.
Alex, light up.
Help?
Oops, sorry about that. Just pop it on the board and knead it for a bit.
Oh, lovely work, Isabella. You see, folks, with a little patience and persistence, there's nothing we can't achieve.
Climate change will achieve. Putting like carbon here just keep us warm.
Then stand over there and freeze if you like.
I'm not saying that, if people aren't aware enough.
TJ, it's okay. Our camps are carbon neutral. We hold 2 tree planting camps per year to offset the firewood we use, and we always make sure to take our rubbish home for recycling.
I love a good fire.
You love everything.
We'll be loving this campus soon enough now. Gather round, everyone. Gather round, please.
Nice work getting the fire going.
Thanks.
Okay, folks. I've got a question. Why do you think we've all come on this camp?
Well, I'm hoping on discovering a new celestial body and possibly giving it a name.
To get used to the cold?
To prepare for SHTF.
No, don't ask.
What's SHTF?
When shit hits the fan.
Language.
When society collapses because of some cataclysm and everyone has to fend for themselves.
I told you not to ask.
You mean like zombies?
Zombies aren't real, but there could be a disease that makes people act like zombies. The government's prepared for that. Bring on the zombies!
Although zombies don't exist, over 40% of people under the age of 25 in the US still believe they exist.
It doesn't have to be zombies. There's bundles of things that could cause SHTF. Major bushfires or floods,
Caused by climate change.
or a biological outbreak, or a major solar flare stops our telecommunications working. All government services would stop. No clean water, no fuel. That's why it's good to practice our survival skills by camping.
Well, yes, survival skills are very useful. Thank you, Roger. But on these camps, we also learn from each other by solving problems together and making new friends. I must admit, for me, the greatest part of the camp happens on the last night.
What?
Because at the end of each camp, the tradition is that we all tell a story.
I don't like spooky stories.
Oh, come on. Roger can tell us about Bigfoot again.
Please don't.
Just because you won't look at the facts.
Tonight, we'll all be telling a coming-of-age story.
A what?
A coming-of-age story. You see, there are moments in everyone's life that change us and teach us something. And after that moment, life just isn't the same anymore. It's part of how we mature from children to adults.
But I'm only 14.
Only a dog.
For some people, it may be the first time they fell in love.
Then I guess I could go.
Maybe it was the first time someone really let you down. Or maybe the first time your life was touched by death.
That was sad about your grandma.
But it was sweet too.
Well, after I finish kindergarten...
Do we have to do this?
Before anyone begins, we'll be setting down some ground rules for the listeners.
These all apply to everyone, Aaron.
The stories we hear tonight may be very personal to the people telling them. So, as listeners, our job is to listen respectfully.
Because when we respectfully listen to and engage with the lives of other people, we can truly come together as a community.
Now, with that in mind, you can start again, Owen.
Well, when I was little, I was very shy. And after 3 years in kindergarten, my mum thought, it is time for me to start primary school. When she told me that the school was bigger than kinder and it would have heaps of kids, I got really nervous. Like I said, I was a very shy boy at the time. And I loved kinder, my group of friends. I didn't want to leave the place I loved. So, my mum is taking me to primary school for the first time.
Respectful listening, thanks, Aaron.
So, yeah, I was stressing about it. But Mum just kept saying, don't worry, you'll be fine. And I tried not to, but I was very nervous. She kept saying, don't worry, you'll be fine, like she's hypnotizing me with her words. So when we arrived at the school, I saw the school was huge and there were heaps of kids, like, everywhere. I was crying all over the place. I literally thought that my life was over. But then we met the principal and she took me to my very first class. And she was actually very likable and nice. So I arrived at my class, saying goodbye to my mum, and met my first homeroom teacher. She was the nicest person I'd ever met. And she introduced me to the other kids. And I was shy, but at the same time, I feel okay with it. I made a lot of new friends on that day, and throughout the day, I played with them. But at the end of the day, I got given homework. Yes, homework on the first day. Still to this day, I still think it isn't right. I mean, at the time, I didn't know what homework even was. But, of course I didn't like it the first day. I just wanted to play my PlayStation 2. But of course I got to finish the homework that is due on the next day. So, primary school was a lot different than kinder. You know, more people, more buildings, the lessons were different, and I got homework. But I think to myself, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be because I made a lot of new friends.
Aw, that's sweet.
I'm not sure what the point is.
So what did that day teach you, Owen? How did it make you who you are today?
Well, I think when I try new things, I still get very nervous, but new things end up being okay once you get used to them. I thought, I just remember, don't worry, you'll be fine, and that's it.
Thanks for going first, Owen, and thank you everyone for taking the time to hearing someone else's story.
Too often, people get too caught up in their own lives and don't take the time to really get to know other people.
Okay. Who's next? Come on. I'm sure you've all had big moments in your life.
You know, in tribal times, young people would have to go through initiation ceremonies. In some tribes, they'd have to sleep outside alone overnight with no help from anyone to learn how to face their fears.
Sounds like child abuse.
Shouldn't we put the beans on now?
Oh yeah, forgot.
Shania, didn't you get your license recently?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big one. A lot of people would consider that a coming of age moment.
How did it feel getting it?
Well, I was super excited.
I'm cold.
If anyone's getting too cold, you can help Shania tell her story. Like acting it out.
Oh, wild! That'd be great!
Go for it, Shania. These guys will help. Last story before dinner.
Well, I got my license as soon as I could, when I turned 16, because I knew I wanted the power to just be able to escape whenever you wanted to. You know, just to be free and able to leave whenever you want.
I know that feeling. I can't wait to get my license. I think I want a convertible for summer cruising with my baby.
Because there's this whole thing that once you get your license, it's when you become a real adult.
I'm not going to get my license. If everyone rode push bikes, the world would be so much cleaner.
You'll all have your chance to tell your story, but for now, it's Shania's turn.
Come on, Shania.
Well, because I got my learner so early, I had already done heaps of hours, so unless they had another road rule that day, I'm pretty much sure I would pass. So there I was at that road driving place. What was it called again?
Big roads.
Yeah. I looked behind the line and there were two girls, around the same age as me, so I thought they'd also be getting their piece. One girl seemed like she did not have a care in the world, and she was really just there to keep her parents happy. And the other one seemed super anxious, fiddling with her fingers and tapping her foot and twitching her head to look at others in the line. Then there was an old man who looked like he was in his 50s. Yeah, he was in his 50s, and I thought to myself, geez, he took his time getting his license. Probably the opposite of me. I would have been here yesterday if I wasn't so busy with my 18th birthday. Anyway, the lady at the counter called, next, like we were all deaf. So I went to grab my clipboard so I could fill out the questions, making sure I filled the asthmatic box, because I'm super asthmatic. Even from the smallest things like getting the mail out of the mailbox, I'll have an asthma attack. That actually happened once, but I've learned to live with it. My whole family is asthma, and you probably find a million pumps around our house. After I finished filling out a clipboard of questions, I was asked to go outside with this grumpy man who seemed super judgy already. He grabs my clipboard and goes,
Asthma, I see.
I giggled and began to tell him a story of how my whole family has asthma, and he goes,
Shh, I'm reading.
Of course, I had to get the rudest person I could possibly get, and it started to get me nervous. But he gets in the passenger side and he tells me to take him for a drive. He was just so rude. He didn't even smile, and it started to get me even more nervous. But then I remembered what I had to do first. Small, medium, small, large. That's what I did to remember what to do. Small, seat adjustments. Medium, mirror adjustments. Small, seatbelt on. Large, lights if I need them. So he says to drive. It's a manual too, but I had plenty of practice in those. So I start in first and slowly shift up to second. Then I missed the stop sign coming out of the car park, and although I can't look, I know he's marking me down. We're in traffic and he tells me to change lanes, so I check my mirrors and my blind spot's turning my neck, and then he doesn't say anything, so I say where to, and he says,
Unless I given an instruction, please continue in your current direction.
more like a robot than anything else. So I continued driving and watching, shifting up through gears, and then he instructs me to take the next available left turn. I see one coming up, so I get ready, indicating it properly. So at the last minute, I see a no entry sign, and I drive past it just in time, and all he says is, but I can feel him writing more stuff on his clipboard, and I think he's going to fail me. The whole thing seemed to be over so fast. We're back at the Vic Roads car park before I knew what was going on, and I think he's going to fail me, and that would mean I would be the only one out of my friends who'd failed, and it would be completely embarrassing. But he turns to me, and all of a sudden, he's really nice, and he says,
Congratulations.
I can't believe it! I got 85%!
So, what did you take from that experience, Shania? How has it changed you? What have you learned?
Well, I feel like heaps more independent, but I still haven't got my own car yet.
Any big lesson you learned from passing your P plates?
Well, when I was driving, I thought I would fail for sure, but at that moment, my brain just said it doesn't matter. Even if it feels like you're at your lowest point in life, just pick yourself up and work twice as hard. And do it again and again and again until you get there, until you succeed, because there's always going to be challenges in life, and you're just going to have to get through it. It's like I found my determination, and next time I have a challenge to pass, I won't give up straight away like I used to.
That's great, Shania. Everyone?
Good job.
Thanks for sharing with us, Shania. It's a big lesson for all of us.
I think the food might be ready.
Oh, I nearly forgot. Can someone grab the jerky, please?
None for me, thanks. We need murder.
Oh, the sure is tasty.
I'm serious. Who wants to kill animals for It's like a live Neanderthal business. You can only happen if you don't care.
TJ, it's not that you don't have a good point, but tonight that's what we're eating.
I'm not.
And that's fine, but we could let the rest of us have our last meal together without too much politics.
Don't we need meat for protein?
No.
Alright, everyone, there's food here for you. Everyone now, come and get your food. There'll be enough for seconds. Right then, let's move on to the next story, shall we?
I can tell you how in love I am.
That's the endorphins talking. It only lasts for the first 12 months of knowing someone.
Downer.
I think it's nice
What?
that Andre's cool to talk about being in love. A lot of guys aren't.
So it's fine to talk about being in love, but it's not fine to talk about what I want to talk about? You're such a hypocrite.
Go on then. You get a captive audience tonight. You're in for a treat. Hope it doesn't put you off your dinner.
Isabella, I know you spend a lot of time with your brother, but he should feel as comfortable as anyone else here to tell his story.
Oh, you'll feel comfortable, all right?
If everyone else will tell us some bullshit story to get to the side, then we may as well get it over with.
Thank you, Adam. Although I agree with the sentiment, we could do it without the language.
Looks like you're next, Roger.
Is there any more jerky left?
More bean.
Okay, once everyone's settled, Roger, you're next. Everyone done?
I love a good story.
You love everything.
Aaron, please. Roger, we're with you.
Well, everything was pretty simple growing up. I would just go to school, I would come home, play games, watch TV, all pretty simple. Then one night, I'm home alone and I'm just channel surfing when I come across this documentary about the assassination of JFK, the American president in the 60s. Anyway, this documentary was revealing all this stuff that had been covered up at the time by the government, and they had all this evidence that had been covered up for over 50 years. 50 years of lies. But then my parents came home with her, so I went to bed. Then, the next morning, I woke up with this feeling that maybe I'd been lied to my whole life. Kind of like the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Maybe the truth wasn't really the truth, after all. Now, I would watch the news like normal, but something was different. I didn't just believe anything anymore. I wanted to see the proof. So from then on, I checked the facts for myself. Whatever the subject, I would spend hours, no, days, watching documentaries and researching. I found all these stories, these lies that the world had believed for so long. Then, I started telling some of my friends about the stuff I found out about JFK and the fake moon landing and the Twin Towers and the war in Iraq. And they'd just say, you're a conspiracy theorist. But I'd say, just look at the facts. But they didn't want to look at the facts because the facts would tell them that everything they believed in was a lie. So they started calling me a freak and teasing me about being paranoid and stuff. But I wasn't. I just took time to study the facts. And look, I know none of you believe in Bigfoot, and you can make fun of me all you want. She does it all the time. It doesn't bother me. Is Bigfoot real? I don't know, is he? Is Bigfoot real? What facts do you know? Tell me, what facts do you know? Have you ever seen Bigfoot? No. Yeah, no one has ever seen Bigfoot. So you won't believe it. Fair enough. But you can't prove they don't exist. I'm just saying they might. They probably do. You think about it. More than 900 footprints have been collected over the years. They have an average length of 15.6 inches, an average width of 7.2 inches. In the Himalayas, they call it the Yeti. The skunk ape in Florida, Sasquatch or Bigfoot in North America, something else in Vietnam. So, why did the whole world come up with the same story, find the same things, if it wasn't true? Do you want to know what I think? I think this. There was a relative of Homo erectus called Gigantopithecus, which they say went extinct over 300,000 years ago. It stood more than 10 feet tall. This is a fact. Judging by their molars, They ate tough, fibrous plants. Again, this is a fact. Gigantopithecus may have migrated from Asia when the Tibetan Plateau rose over 800,000 years ago and turned South Asia's climates cooler and the forest shrank. So, did they all go extinct? Or did they migrate like humans did throughout history? Seems pretty logical, but that's okay. You can feel pretty confident out here alone in the bush. Surely I'm just a conspiracy theorist, and all those facts don't matter.
Whoa, that's full on.
Are we safe here?
You tell me.
That's pretty impressive, Roger.
A lot of facts there.
You reckon?
If Bigfoot was still alive, it'd be on the endangered species list.
Is that what you believe, TJ?
I don't know.
That's not what it sounds like!
How do you know what it sounds like?
Research!
And what would you say would be the lesson you've taken from that whole experience, Roger? What have you learnt, and how have you grown?
Well, I've learned that ignorant people get very defensive when they're scared, and they're always scared of something they don't understand.
Oh my god!
It's only an owl. I think.
Right then. Thanks for that, Roger. Very enlightening. Very enlightening.
Andre, I think now would be a good time to tell your story if you like.
I don't mind waiting.
Now would be a great time, Andre.
Well, I'm pretty cruisy, you know? All I ever did in life was cruise. It didn't take much to make life go by. I mean, I didn't care about goals. I just cruised. I didn't care about career, about productivity. I just cruised to school, cruised home, played games. School, home, games. Very cruisy. I suppose everything started to change on the day I auditioned for the school play. I wasn't going to. I didn't even know about it. But a friend of mine dragged me by my ear to audition. She said she heard me sing Happy Birthday at someone's party and thought I had a good voice. I couldn't even remember the party. Must have just cruised there, I guess. Anyway, I got the part. It turns out we were going to do High School Musical, and I got to play Troy Bolton. Troy Bolton. That's right. Zac Efron's part. He's a pretty cruisy guy too, so I guess it sort of made sense. Anyway, I continued to cruise. Slowly learning all the songs, the dances, bits of acting, all cruisy. Some bits were hard, but most were easy. I just copied most of it from the film. Working on my Zac faces. But then one day, after rehearsal, my friend, the one who dragged me to audition in the first place, introduces me to a new BFF, a girl called Alice. And Alice was playing one of the other roles too, so we just helped each other rehearse a bit, all cruisy. But after hanging out here and there for a week or so, she asked for my number. So we could practice lines over the phone, she said. So we exchanged phone numbers, and she calls me that night to practice. It was cool, really. Much easier to rehearse with someone else than doing it all alone. So for the next 2 months continuously, we're practicing lines, and we're singing songs, and we're texting every day, every night, all the time. Cool way to rehearse for a show, really. But then one night, she texted, "You know there's a couple of girls in the production that like you, right?" I had no idea what to say, so I just texted back, "Cool." And she texted back, "Cool." Then it was time to crash out, so I didn't think much about it. But after a couple of days, I finally realized what she meant. I think she likes me. And that's cool, because I like her too. So the next morning, I texted her at school to meet me on the greenest hill I could find, and I serenaded her on one knee. She was so happy. She loved it. I loved it. I loved her. She loved me.
Do we have to listen to this mush?
I haven't got to the point yet.
Just because you hate everything doesn't mean we all have to.
You getting mushy, sis?
Come on, you guys. What about the respectful listening we had before?
Come on, there's nothing like a love story to mix it up a bit.
Quite right, Elijah. You go for it, Andre.
Well, the point is, this introduced me to the struggles of relationships. There's a lot of pressure. The hysteria, the love. I just had no idea what to do. The only thing to do in Caroline Springs was watch movies. So we saw heaps of movies. Then there was gifts and things, some for special events, some for no reason at all. I don't know how it happened, but it all started to stress me a bit. It wasn't cruisy anymore. I mean, we loved each other and we got along great. And we were calling and texting all the time. But it started to feel awkward. I wanted to make sure that she was happy. So I kept on trying to plan things to surprise her. But I'd stress if the plans weren't good enough and I was just worrying all the time. Then one night we're off to do something. Some surprise I'd planned. But we're running late, so I start losing it, stressing my head off. And she just looks at me and she says, "We're not going." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "We're not going." And I'm like, "But we're gonna be late." And she's like, "Don't care." And I'm like, "What?" Then she tells me to sit down and take a deep breath. And I'm thinking, is she gonna dump me? Then she tells me she loves me. That she doesn't care about all that other stuff. What she cares about is this connection. And I finally realized what she meant. I was putting all my time stressing about the stuff around our connection, getting stressed about it. All I needed to do was be in love. And that was easy. It was cruisy.
I still don't get it.
They started to drift apart.
I'm not sure that's the point.
Oh, listen to the expert.
You don't need to be an expert to understand what someone's saying.
Maybe Andre's not finished.
Oh, please. Be finished. Rude.
Fine then.
Andre, what would you say you've learned from your story, and how has that changed you?
Well, I guess Alice taught me that love is all that matters. As long as there's a connection, a relationship is okay. Most of all, it's very important to keep things cruisy. Yeah, you got it.
Aww.
Any more beans?
That's it for tonight, unfortunately. We've only got breakfast food and we need that for tomorrow.
So why don't you meet me again? Aaron?
Why do you always do that? Always trying to upset someone.
Forget it.
Oh, the sun's gone down.
It's still a bit early yet.
And we're still hearing everyone else's story, Hayden.
But there's stars you can see at sunset.
Why can't we just listen to stories and watch? I mean, it would be pretty quiet if we were just looking through our telescopes.
But it wouldn't exactly give the person telling their story the feeling that they're being listened to.
Well, that's right. No one will really listen to mine anyway. They just nod their head and say it's sad. It's the government's been doing for the past 50 years anyway.
Cool, I'll get my scope.
I need a jacket.
Me too.
Well, it's a bit different, but
Good work.
yeah. Alright. Everyone get set up quickly, please, and make sure your scopes are all pointed at the same place.
I wish this camp was 2 weeks ago.
Why? You would have been here 2 weeks longer.
I'm not sure that makes sense, but 2 weeks ago Mars was at its closest point since 2003.
That would have been super exciting.
To anyone interested in the cosmos, yes.
Which we all are. That's why we're here.
I've got the pointer.
I see the moon.
You aren't actually seeing the moon, only what it was 1.5 seconds ago.
What?
And you don't see the sun either, only what it was 8 minutes ago.
I'm not saying anything.
Can't see the cross.
Yeah, probably not for a few minutes yet.
I guess your story's next, TJ. Are you sure you don't mind doing it this way? We could sit back around the fire if that's more supportive.
That's fine. They won't listen anyway.
Okay then.
Well, I'm not going to go along with this. What happened to you that made you who you are? How did you come of age business? If it's my time to talk, I'll talk. But I'll talk about what's important to me, if that's all right with you.
It's your time, TJ.
Because it's not my coming of age that interests me. It's the coming of age of this planet. When will the planet come of age and learn to do what's right?
Well, people have different ideas about what's right, TJ. Different beliefs.
I'd like to say things are rosy and everything fine. Believe me, I'd like to. But they're not. Do you want to know why people don't do what's right? I'll tell you why. It's because people are too greedy and self-interested.
Oh, there's the cross.
It's called the crux.
Me too. I've got Venus.
That's weird.
What?
Nothing, I mustn't have cleaned my lens properly.
I saw some green.
I didn't.
Bit of focus, please, folks.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. People are so greedy and self-interested. We could have completely transitioned to renewable energy by now, but people make too much money from oil. We could have stopped the live export trade, but people make too much money from it. We could have stopped starvation, totally, across the planet, but people don't want to share. We talk about coming of age like it's something that's good, but getting older doesn't solve the issues. If it did, we wouldn't have any issues. It's time adults stop blaming young people and had a good look at themselves.
Correct.
Adults say get a job, like that's gonna fix everything. But it doesn't. It just makes you think exactly like an old person. Get a job, buy a house, have some kids, and eat tuna at dinner parties and talk about how you just bought your 4th investment property. And driven house prices so high, your kids will never, ever be able to afford their own. Growing old doesn't make you smart, and it definitely doesn't make you right. The oceans are dying.
Oh, that's sad.
We still have nuclear weapons. Adults can't solve climate change. Adults are cruel to refugees. Adults don't help the homeless. Adults decide to go to war.
Like Iraq.
And between you and me, it was people over 18 who voted Trump in. So if you want to know when I came of age, it's when I realized that I don't care what adults think anymore. I don't care about growing up. I care about growing right. I care about growing ethically. That's all I have to say.
Red dwarfs are cool.
Rapport building, Hayden.
I'm not sure TJ was finished, Hayden. Back to you, TJ.
I'm done.
And what would you say you've learned from your story?
What have you learned?
Sorry?
Don't be.
What?
Exactly.
What I think Laura meant to say, TJ, was that...
Forget it. Next.
Aaron?
What are you laughing at?
Don't worry about him, Laura.
Yeah, he's probably a bit shy and he's just too afraid to tell his story.
What?
It's okay to be shy, Aaron.
I'm not shy. You guys are...
Aaron? Let's keep it PG,
This
please.
is bullshit. They don't know anything about me.
Well, you could tell them about you.
This is...
Aaron? PG.
Oh, right. You want a story? I'll give you a story. I've got this friend, right? We've known each other for ages. We ride bikes a lot. Always have since we were little. Always riding our bikes. Since primary school. Like, if I took a selfie every day of my life, at least half of it would be of us two riding our bikes. Ah, stuff this.
No, keep going, Aaron.
Do it.
It's okay.
It's not as bad as you think.
You might as well get it off your chest.
They're not going to listen anyway.
Alright, fine. Shut up and let me talk.
There it is again.
So, when primary school finished, we went on to the same high school. Everything just continued the way it was. Ride to school, ride home, ride on weekends, best mates. That's when things started to change. Sometimes, when we went to go ride with them on the weekends, he wouldn't come. He'd be busy doing other stuff. Sometimes, he'd come into class all flamboyant and way too excited about a class that I knew he hated. Look, the story is, my best friend got addicted to drugs, and now life is shit. Turns out, he got addicted to marijuana when things weren't going his way. He said it was nothing, but I could see it in his eyes. It was high. I tried confronting him after school and telling him to stop. He told me to piss off and that it was a waste of time. After that, every time we talked about it, we'd fight some more. So eventually, over time, we'd move further apart. He disappeared from school the next week. Tried contacting him, and I got no reply. I even contacted his parents. They said they hadn't seen him since last Friday, and they were pretty gosh darn worried. So I jumped on my bike and rode around town looking for him. He wasn't in any of our usual spots. Around half an hour later, I found him at the skate park near the footy ground. He was a lot skinnier than usual, and he had dark rings around his eyes. I knew it was meth, and he wasn't making much sense. He was way too weak to walk. So I picked him up and carried him to his house. It was only 5 minutes away. As I got to the door and rang the doorbell, he looked up at me and smiled. "Thank you for taking me home." His mum swung the door open and motioned me inside. I rushed in, put him on the couch, and asked if he wanted anything. He asked for a sandwich and a glass of water. I made him one. As the ambulance came around the corner, I was asked to leave. So I went back to the skate park to see if my bike was still there. And I didn't even give a shit if it was. We talk often, and he seems a bit healthier. He's still experimenting to this day, but with less dangerous substances. Now you're gonna ask me what I've learned. How my life has been changed for the better. It doesn't feel better. It feels shit. But I guess you could say I learned the effects of drug abuse. And I knew my friend wasn't the only one who was suffering. I became aware of how drugs affect you mentally and physically, and how they can just suck the life out of someone really quick. So here's what I've learned. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. But we survive. With a little bit of determination, we hope that tomorrow's a better day.
That's hard, man.
That's full on.
Thanks for sharing, Aaron. I know that took a lot.
Is that why you've been so angry lately?
Maybe. Yeah,
Well, you don't need to be anymore.
okay. Any more beans left?
Wow, what the?
Maybe it's a meteorite.
That was weird.
I got shivers all over my body.
Where did it come from?
What was it?
I'm sure it was nothing. It's probably just a police chopper throwing out new lights or something.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, it's coming back.
This isn't right. Let's get out of here.
Forget it, everyone. No running off.
You want us to stay here? Are you serious?
Stay where you are, young people on earth.
You got to be kidding me! No way! This way.
We are the Hoover-Lux. We solve the problems of the universe. The Hoover-Lux always have. The Hoover-Lux always will. Don't let a problem ruin your day. We Hoover-Lux your problems away. It's all part of our intergalactic service contract.
Galactic service contract.
It's like you're an alien cleaning company.
Maybe they've come to fix climate change?
As we progress in planet Earth, we heard that our help was needed. The Hoover-Lux cannot pass a planet where help is needed.
We don't need your help. Really, we don't.
Okay, Shania. We'll be okay.
We'll be fine. I'm sure they come in peace.
We come to solve the problem. It seems the biggest problem facing planet Earth is young people.
What?
The Earth is crying out for Hoover-Lux help because its young people are always complaining about everything, but they are too lazy to do anything about it.
This is bullshit, Aaron.
Young people are always wasting their time playing video games and using something called Facebook. Young people just aren't growing up the way they used to in the old days. The problem is that young people aren't growing up and contributing to society the way they used to.
Well, I'm not sure that's actually correct.
Why do young people always get the blame for everything?
Hoover-Lux policy is to test the problem before we remove it. Therefore, we have chosen to test this group of young people to measure its maturity and intelligence. If you fail to pass our tests, then Hoover-Lux will remove all young people from planet Earth. Don't let a problem ruin your day. We Hoover-Lux your problems away.
What if we pass these tests?
With the information we have about young people, it is very unlikely that you will pass the tests.
I can vouch for these young people. They're good people.
You must choose 3 representatives from These representatives will tell their story of maturity and intelligence. More than half must pass the test. Less than half will lead to the removal of young people from planet Earth.
Who hasn't got the story yet? Who's left? 2 of you have to pass.
But I'm only 14. I'm not meant to be mature yet.
The first sample candidate must stand under the truth beam and prepare to be assessed.
Truth beam?
Whoa!
Assessment will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Assessment must begin now.
Look, aliens, I don't know what I gotta do to make you think that young people are worth saving or not exterminating. You all sound pretty powerful, and I'm not. So I'm just gonna keep it real. I'll do my bit, you do yours. Or whatever. I'll give you what I got straight from the hip with none of the bullshit. It is what it is, and that's what shiz. So, when I was younger, I always wanted to be popular and have lots of friends. I guess everyone wanted that. Fair enough. My group of friends was into rap. If you aliens don't know what rap is, it's basically where rhyme meets beat and it comes from the streets. So we'd all wear the famous rap gear, such as the caps, the t-shirts, the shoes, the stuff you wear on your feet. All that kind of stuff. Listen to the latest tunes, that stuff. So one day we're at my friend Mikey's house. And Mikey makes these beats and we just pass the mic to each other, freestyling over the top. And then one day, the guys and me start talking about this rapper called Lone Wolf. And I still don't know why I said it to this day, but I told everyone that he was my cousin. And once I said that, like, the guys went nuts, like I was a celebrity. The only problem was I didn't even know Lone Wolf. I only said it to make me seem more popular and have more friends. It worked. But so one day, we're doing the same thing. We're at Mikey's house, passing the mic, freestyling over the top to his beats. And then we come up with a song. And we thought, you know what, this song might make a big hit. And it could also make me more popular. But one of my other friends thought we needed help. So he went on the Lone Wolf's Facebook page and sent him a message saying that, hey, we're in your cousin's band and we have a song that we think you'll like. And then things started to get very weird because he sent back a message saying that he only had one cousin and that she was a she who lived in Singapore and was only 4 years old. And then it got awkward because the guys then started staring at me in a weird way. And I just kept making up all these stories like, oh, our parents were divorced and we couldn't see each other no more. They didn't believe me. They just told me that they just told me to get lost, that they didn't want me in their band no more. From that day, I ended up changing schools, my walk, my personality, all of it. I swore that day that I would always keep it real no matter what the situation. If someone didn't like me, I didn't care. So you aliens either like me or you don't. That's your business. If you've got the power to wipe out all kids in the world, I can't stop you. Go ahead, do it. I'm ready. But if you're asking me to beg, I ain't gonna beg. I wouldn't even know what would impress you. Aliens probably don't even like rap. What up?
You are correct. Aliens don't like rap. You have shown a degree of courage, but we still don't like rap. First sample candidate result, fail.
We still have 2 more tries.
Sorry guys, I don't know what they like. I gave it my best.
It was a very good story, Elijah. I really liked it.
The second sample candidate must stand under the truth beam and prepare to be assessed.
Who's next?
You go, Isabella.
Can't believe I have to do this. Seriously, my mum made me come on this camp so that my brother wouldn't be alone with a load of people he didn't know. I don't care about astronomy. I had no say in it. I never get a say in it. Young people never get a say in anything. All the decisions are made by adults and we just have to live with it. It's not fair. I don't know who you are. I don't know what gives you the right to think you can just roam around the universe making decisions about who should live and who should die. No one should have that sort of power. And who are you to judge anyway?
Resistance is futile. We have received information that young people are of no value on planet Earth and are ready to act accordingly. Failure to justify your existence will result in the extermination of all young people on planet Earth. End of message.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've never been any good at tests. Been nice knowing you. I'm sorry I've been mean to you, Roger. If aliens are real, then maybe Bigfoot is too. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I didn't mean to hurt you.
That's alright, sis. Don't worry about that. Just answer the question.
I don't know what to say.
Yes, you do. You know more about life and death than most people ever get to learn. You've had to learn it early. You care more about other people than anyone I know. Just tell them what happened.
5, 4,
You don't even know her.
3, 2,
Now!
1.
Right. You want to know what I've learnt from life? Fine. I've learnt that people have to care for each other. That's everything.
More information required.
Fine then. I was at a party with friends. Wonderful friends. Having a great time. At the end of the night, my friend Chantal was driving me home, so I wouldn't have to walk past Macca's late at night. She'd never let friends take stupid risks late at night, so she'd always nominate herself as taxi so people could get home safe. She always did stuff like that. But when we were about 2 blocks away from my house, she said she was really looking forward to saying hello to my mum because she reckoned I had a nice mum and a nice family. And she had a big smile on her face. But then there was a huge smash and glass everywhere. Chantal always cared about everyone and wanted everyone to be happy. She was the nicest person in the world. But that didn't count for anything because the other driver didn't care about anyone else and he was so drunk he didn't even see us. But I see her. I see her face every day. I spent the next 3 months in hospital and I saw her face every day. Chantal's parents came and saw me every day until I woke up, and then they came and saw me every day for a week to talk and make sure I was all right. And then they stopped coming. Mum said it was because I reminded them of Chantal and it hurt them too much. But I saw them down at the shops when I got out of hospital. They didn't see me. They walked slowly, like they had been caught in a dream where they couldn't smile anymore. All their dreams and hopes of Chantal had turned to nightmares. I stopped seeing them after that because I know it causes them too much pain with the memories. You have to care for people. You just have to, because they won't always be there. Young people aren't the problem. People who don't care for other people are the problem. And if you want to remove us from this planet, then you're just as bad as that driver who removed my friend from this planet. And you would not be helping, you would not be caring, you would be crushing the hopes and dreams of this planet. Young people are the hopes and dreams of this planet. And too many of those get crushed every day.
Sample candidate number 2. Your story exhibits a high level of understanding and compassion for other forms of life. This level of maturity is about
get any easier. You do get better at dealing with it.
It can be hard to face reality when you know that life doesn't forever go on.
Hayden, it's just like my mom said. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
There are always going to be challenges in life, and you're just going to have to get through it, even if you fail the first time.
But I only get one chance.
Oh, oops.
We're always scared of something we don't understand.
Most of all, it's very important to keep things cruisy. Yeah. Good luck. I don't care about growing up. I care about going right. That's what I like to say.
Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Look, man, I don't know. Who doesn't like rap? Just keep it real.
Assessment will begin in 5, 4,
Young people are the hopes and dreams of this planet.
3, 2,
Get him, Hayden.
1.
Alright, I'm the youngest person here. I'm also probably the smartest person here.
Rapport building, Hayden.
I came here on an astronomy camp because I wanted to learn more, because I was curious about the origins of our universe. I even brought my own telescope because I wanted to fit in my new 3-inch lens so I could increase the amount of stars I could see from 4,500 stars to 100,000 stars. And do I get congratulated for my curiosity and competence? No, I get called a dork because I know more than a person should for someone my age. And now you're going to punish me because I'm too young? Well, you're wrong. Your actions are wrong because they defy cosmic law. Anyone who knows anything knows that our universe began with the Big Bang, a point in singularity which then expanded and created other elements as time went on. That's what the universe does. It moves from simplicity on to complexity. That's cosmic law. That life will move from being simple to much more complex. And your plans for removing young people from this earth breaks the complexity that we might contribute to. Therefore, you're wrong.
This argument exhibits a degree of intelligence, but we know that young people are stupid and lazy.
Where'd you hear this? I demand to be shown the evidence against us.
Young people saying is, what's in it for me? Well, get out of bed for a start.
And that does seem to be a common problem with young people in the opinion of many that have called tonight. Next we've got John from Baronia.
Yeah, great show. Listen, long time listener, first time caller, but I reckon you're taking it too easy on these young lot.
Not a fan of the snowflake generation, John.
The hopeless generation, you mean?
Talkback radio? You're gonna kill all young humans on Earth for something you heard on Talkback radio?
It was a cry for Hoover's assistance.
No, it wasn't. How do I put this? The radio waves that you heard are Earth's more primitive form of communication that old people listen to remember the days that life used to be. In Talkback radio, it serves as a platform of communication that plays on music that old people listen to remember, complain about the complexity of modern day life. In most Talkback radio, anything new is considered the enemy. You've chosen the wrong information to base your judgment on.
Hoover's judgment is always correct given the information. Hoover has seen that young humans can be courageous and caring, but we have had no proof of intelligence. Without an exhibition of intelligence, we agree that young people should be exterminated.
There are many forms of intelligence among the young people of Earth. Most people consider IQ as the gauge of one's intelligence. However, there is also emotional and social intelligence. And as I've learned around the campfire for the past couple of nights, I can vouch for the intelligence of this group. Although no one is perfect, I'm sure that their lives can be saved. And maybe not one person will save our world in the future. Together we just might.
We remain unconvinced and must continue our action unless irrefutable evidence of intelligence is detected.
Say something smart, Hayden!
So being smart's now a good thing, is it?
Come on, Hayden.
Do it.
5, 4, 3.
All right. They they say that mathematics is the language of the cosmos. Therefore, I'll give you a number. My favourite number. An irrational number that has no end. A number that has been used throughout the ages here on Earth. Its name is pi, and you cannot kill us until I run out of numbers to say, which I never will.
413413234899726. You can stop now.
You saved us!
You're a genius! I love you, man! Me too! I'm out of here!
Yeah, me too! Alright, everyone, grab what you can. Let's make our way to the bus. Okay, you can leave that. We'll get that later.
You guys just get what you absolutely need and get to the bus. I'll take care of it. Yeah.
Alright, I'll contact you when you reach the bus, okay?
Okay, yep.
Alright, everyone.
Elijah, hurry up. Go. Get to the bus. I'll be right there. Just go. Hey, Mike? Yeah, worked perfectly, mate. Yep, they bought every second of it. Yeah. All right, yeah. Same thing next week. All right, yeah. Alex! Yeah, I'm coming.
Come on, man.